Allie, you there?
I'm here.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
I noticed we have 5 users, which is incredible. That's like 4 more users than I thought would come.
The question is, how many of them did you bribe?
Well, David, you, me, Chicago, and totally not Chrispy.
I bet that's not Chrispy.
Totally not. So, we were going to critique art. Let me get that thingy maflob flob up. If anyone would like to hop into the mumble, yeah, it's Itash's mumble. Beyond the IRC, you'll find it. I believe in you. Someone could
Such
probably
faith.
link stuff.
Are we gonna be doing the draw pile?
Yeah, just firing up the server.
Oh, cool, cool.
Excuse me.
I'm getting all the best sounds from behind me. It's wonderful. Allie doesn't hear it all because Mumble does mumbly things.
It's beautiful.
I blame push to talk, really.
It's true. I'm not very used to it. It's gonna be difficult.
I mean, you could shut it off.
I could, but I don't want to be annoying. I've been sneezing a lot today.
Fair enough. Alright, what's our first piece we're going to critique? Unless if anyone has pieces they would like to be critiqued. Because, we totally take people in our chat over people in the sub first.
Anybody? If not, I'll start digging through the sub.
Just assume 15-second delay at the very minimum. Because... chat.
Yeah.
I have no responses, so I'm gonna assume no.
To the sub!
Oh look, 1 without critique, 2 without critiques.
Brilliant. Put them in.
Just upvoting them real quick. 1 has 14 comments. I am impressed. Someone must have had a great conversation going on there. Can you quickly click through a few that have comments just to ensure that there is a sane comment there?
Gotcha.
Will just be 1 moment, ladies and gentlemen.
Should we make another post saying we're live now? Or we're still on the top, so...
Yeah, it's not a high volume sub by any means.
Yeah.
Come on. There it is. Wait, I should probably turn that into a server, shouldn't I?
Would be nice.
Crazy.
Who needs teamwork when you have ponies?
Oh my gosh, there's like a drop pile up.
Is it the same stuff as last time?
It's just pony, no capitals. What's it saying when you try and connect to Mumble Shikogo? Shikogo. I can't quite pronounce your name right because every time I say it, I think I'm saying Chicago.
I was looking at our channel, and I know it's MLP, but I see it as MIP, so it's like Men in Pink.
For whatever reason, it won't let me take MLP Drawing School. It wants it to be lowercase, just for the L.
That's really weird.
It is. I kept trying to change it, and it's like, this already exists. But I'm it. Just let me change the L. So it gives you two changes. So I think if I go to like to a different name, say, the coolest place on the planet Earth, and then I bring it back to MLP Drawing School, I think it would take them. But I'm not tempted to try that.
We're the Men in Pink. It's fine.
Ooh, your certificate's wrong. There's a fix for that. It's remove your self-signed certificate. Actually, better answer is just change your username because it sounds like you're registered, or you were registered at once to the server. So if you just change your username to like Shik, it'll work fine.
I can't seem to connect to the session for Drawpile.
What?
What is it again? Is there a password?
Yes, there is.
Oh, okay.
Shikogo connected. Shikogo entered channel.
See, that totally worked.
True, but I
Hello.
can't use my name now. Hello.
Hello.
Oh, I actually have Drawpile installed.
I dropped the password and a server into the chat, like into the Mumble chat.
Ah, just saw it. Thank you.
We're getting into
I
gear.
don't think I got that. think I
It was
joined
just
too late.
before you joined. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me add it back.
Hey, now I can basically thank you in person, basically, for the change link. Thank you.
No problem.
I will repay you somehow, eventually.
Alright, I put the information inside the little comment on my name, so I don't have to retype it later.
That password is extremely strong.
It is.
The only problem is that I can't copy the IP now.
It's only like 9 numbers. I think we'll be good.
And they're repeating a lot, but I still already forgot it. 2, 4, 6.
Shh.
I know. 2, 6, 4.
You aren't on push to talk. Everyone can hear you speak out my IP.
The IP that you put on thing.
Well, yeah, but the stream doesn't see that. Unless if they're on 1080p, and then they might be able to read it in the bottom corner. One moment, my oven's on fire.
Oh no!
Also, I think I didn't read at least one of the numbers. So what is this? Drawing.
It's one of the ones from the subreddit that hasn't had a critique yet.
I see. I hope we're gonna get to my drawing too, because I have to sleep in less than an hour, so... Yeah.
I think we'll be able to.
So looking at this, like the one thing that kind of stands out to me is, why is this so pointy? I mean, maybe she just has rear defense spikes, but if not, it should be rounded. And that.
Do you see where we can make another layer?
Can we?
Should be able to. I don't seem to have. Ah, it was hiding.
Where is it hiding? I don't see any layers. Oh, there it is. But why can't we make layers?
I
At least
blame
I
Living
can't
Dead.
make layers.
We need him to come back.
Oh, no, I can make layers. Weird.
Yay!
So can I, like... Oh, there we go. Now I can make a new layer that immediately disappears. There we go. Layer 2. And now I can... And now it's gone again. Someone deleting the layers.
I'm not touching it.
Weird. Okay, let me try this one more time. Then I draw. Apparently, Drawpile thinks I can make a layer, but I still can't. So as soon as I start to draw on the new layer, it disappears because I didn't make it in the first place.
Maybe Living Dead has to make it since he's the host?
Now a layer appeared. Can I draw on that? I can. What is going on?
Confusing technology.
But yeah, you can see my beautiful red circle, right?
Yep.
I like what Dude said in the chat. One thing that might not be intentional is that these lines overextend into the hair. It might be intentional because this might be supposed to be like transparent. I could say the same thing about the eyes, but that's kind of common practice nowadays. You draw your eyes over the hair. I don't like that, but a lot of people do it.
It's very anime
But-
style.
Yeah. What I don't like about quote unquote anime style is that people take things out of anime that are that exclusively for the reason that it's easier and cheaper to animate and make no sense if you're just drawing single pictures. Like the side mouth, what a lot of people like to do.
It's true, it's true.
And those things aren't even very hard to fix, you just kind of have to be aware of it and don't use shitty how to draw anime books like I used to. Those were dark times, man. Still have some horrendous anime girl drawings from like 2008 somewhere.
Oh, I think we all do. Everyone has that phase.
Yeah, true. I mean, it does have a good side. It got me into drawing. So one thing I like about this drawing is the fact that it has a butt. That is always a good sign.
Of course, of course. The best part of Pony.
I'm so missing my hotkeys from Clip Studio Paint, but I'm too lazy to set this up now.
As long as I have my Control Z, I think I can make it.
Yeah, that's the thing, because on a QWERTZ keyboard, the Z and the Y are swapped, but for you, Control Y, for me, Control Z is really awkward to do. So the first thing I do in every drawing program is to swap those. And that's not the case in Drawpile, so I constantly try to Control Y to undo, because that's how I've set it up in Clip Studio Paint and Psy and, well, not Photoshop anymore, but used to. Probably can do this somehow. Also, I keep touching my microphone. I can't imagine that makes nice sounds.
You're alright.
Does this even have the option to change? You know what? I'm not gonna type anyway, so I can just switch to QWERTY layout. There we go. So, I would like to submit my drawing, but I don't know how to do that.
I think you can post it to either in the thing, or we had a thread going on the subreddit, or just like in the chat for the
Okay,
stream.
second. It's really weird. I usually at least show my drawings to someone while I do them, but this time I just did it myself. So this will be the first time someone sees this. If I had a bit more time, I'd probably gone in with an overlay layer and just touch up the colors and stuff. And I will.
It's a work in progress. There's no need to be worried.
So there we go. I can hear you now.
I hear people. Boo.
Pretty sure you can put a setting in your microphone settings that doesn't allow any programs to take control of the device.
Yeah, but I use the mumble audio attenuation, and if you set it to do that, it fails.
Oh.
Anyway,
So, LD, we have 2 people submitting things from chat. If you'd rather do them.
let's quickly finish up this, then we'll hit the ones in the chat. So I noticed you're doing a bunch of circles. You want to tell us what you're doing there?
Basically, I was trying to outline the anatomy, at least fix from the positioning of what I'm seeing, because the neck is very thick, and I see this in a lot of their drawings, and for them, this might be a style choice. But this,
Can
I'm just...
I add to that?
Sure.
I think, at least in this case, the neck is so thick because there just is no chin at all. So it might help the artist just to think about how ponies have chins, and especially the princesses have much more emphasized chins than the other ponies. So just look at a couple pictures of princesses and, yeah, understand that they have chins. I mean, this expression is kind of difficult, so I wouldn't even know where exactly to put it, but probably figure it out. Some references. Continue.
I think you make a good point about the chins. I think that's mainly they're lacking definition between the neck and the face, which can be easily fixed with the little line you were just drawing.
Yeah, I wasn't happy with that. But
You do run into
also, I'm gonna switch to yellow so you can see what I'm doing.
you run into an issue with that line because it sort of gives them a double chin.
Yeah, I think once they do that, like how Shikogo is drawn, you draw the chin and then you move the neckline in even a bit.
That makes sense now that the neck's there. Yeah, but this artist has used quite a bit of shading. It's interesting that they didn't choose to try and just create a visual difference between the jaw and the neck just with shading.
That's fair. That's fair.
Beyond that, this tail is wild. I love it. I love what they've done to all the edges to make it really pop a lot more. It's very nifty.
Yeah, I mean, I always admire people how they attempt to do Luna's mane, because there's a bajillion ways to attempt the space mane. And it's so good. I've loved all of them.
So, the way I like to do crits is to focus on one particular thing and go really in depth about it. So the one thing that I feel is that bothers me the most, let me put it this way. Okay, that's a bit more negative than I wanted to. Is how, like, the line work is great in the sense that it has a lot of energy, but this energy is just a bit out of control in some places. Like the first thing I circled, the pointy tip here, or which is now kind of covered by the circles from Ally Claw. Ally Claw? I have no idea. Pronounce that. Anyway, how the horn just kind of goes into the hair. I don't think that's intended because the hair isn't transparent in any other place, so might just be an oversight. Probably is, but still worth pointing out. And again, this might be intentional, but due to the very, very energetic line work, the muzzle is very, very large. And I feel like it could look better if it were just a bit smaller and more defined.
See, I'm going to disagree with you, and the reason is because the use of the large muzzle on this one, I believe the artist is trying to pull attention towards that area. You can see how their hair is sort of pulling it all towards the left, and the large muzzle helps with that and brings out that facial expression that's sitting around there too. Just because of its size, it sort of separates up the face a little bit more.
I guess the reason why it bothers me in this drawing more than in others with big muzzles is the way it creates. You can't really call it an overbite because there's no teeth, but the muzzle just hangs so far over the teeth. Just looks kind of weird to me.
It's a very cartoony approach to it.
True.
I do notice when I gave a little red line over the leg there, I noticed there is no fourth leg. We appear to be missing the front right leg. I'm trying to figure out where the artist originally had it planned. That looks like the shoulder.
Something.
And I'll show you why that looks like the shoulder.
That would be a very long leg.
Boom. There's the leg it looks like they're trying to do.
My guess for the missing leg is that it's some. Let me just quick. It very much could fall behind where the hair is, which happens.
And that's
This
fair.
case, though, and I know this because I do it all the time. This is easier, but it looks off. It's one of those things that aren't technically wrong, but it just might look better if you can see all of the legs, even if it's just something here. Just a small hint where the leg is hiding can make everything seem a bit more convincing.
I agree. Giving the leg a slight definition, just a hint of where it's supposed to be, is very useful to stop that misbalance that sometimes happens in images. I think that's all I got for this one. Anyone else have any other notes?
The only other thing I could say for the back hind leg that we have lifted up here, it falls slightly flat for what they're
Wait.
going for.
I think I found the leg, by the way. But continue.
Basically, the way the haunch here, is that the appropriate term? Either way, this area right here.
Sorry, your mic cut out after you gave it a little circle.
Push to talk. Basically, the leg will be much more round. It's going to be scrunched up against the body for what they're going for. They're kind of still drawing what it would look like stretched out, and for a pose like this, the leg would definitely
Push to talk.
God damn it.
Just set yours to auto
This is why I
broadcast.
stopped using push to talk.
But yes, to just be quick about it, the thighs, they squish, they bend, they stretch, especially when they're lifting the hoof, the back hoof, they'll squish right up into the body. So that's another thing to think about while doing this.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I thought I found the leg, but I'm not sure anymore. Like this might be the leg. If it's the leg, it's kind of a problem. If it isn't, then never mind. But actually, the thing that I thought for a second might be the leg was this.
That looks like the chest, just based on where the neck and shoulder is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which means that poor
Was-
spine.
I mean, what I was thinking basically is that the chest is somewhere like here, and then the leg is kind of right below. Sense.
Alright, well, I think we're about done with this piece, so we're going to move on to Chrispy's, and then we're going to hit Chicago's.
All right.
I'm not the city.
Yaw, Chrispy's is adorable.
Of course.
Alright, I'm gonna have to shut down the draw thing. You're gonna have to reconnect because you can't open an image in it.
Really?
Really?
Isn't that like an import function or something?
You would hope there was, and there is a file open, but as soon as you do that, it opens up a new canvas, which is not connected to the previous canvas.
That's silly.
How long are we gonna stream? I don't know. What are you up for, guys?
I would like to get through all the art at least.
That's fair. That's fair. I'm good for that.
Well, I was planning to go to bed in 20 minutes. I guess I can go an hour late, but...
I mean, we aren't... You can go to bed. There's multiple people going on. Feel free.
Yeah, but I want to stay at least until you do my picture, you know. Okay, so what do we have to do to see the thing?
You gotta wait for me to get the new server up. So disconnect from the previous one.
Should still be the same IP, right?
Same IP, same password.
Need to tell the stream again. Stream doesn't know the last digit, so they can't do anything.
It's actually shown in the just above the little chat bar that's on
True. So I'm gonna admit my ignorance toward the pronunciation of English words. Is it ally or ally?
Allie.
Ally.
Allie
But there
Claw.
is a word that is pronounced ally, right?
It's spelled the exact same way. In fact, I'm part of their bank, Ally Bank.
English, it's wonderful.
Whoa.
Alright, I see a total of 0 people in the draw pile.
Well, I can try to rejoin. Incorrect password. Password change? Oh no, my keyboard layout changed.
Oh, whoops! I went back to the old one. I'm still seeing Luna.
Luna.
So how do we join the new one?
This is not letting you in. What happens when you put in the IP and join?
Do you still have the Luna one up in a different tab or a different window?
Nope.
Because it still says you're logged into the Luna one.
That's weird.
Womp womp.
Nope, don't have it.
Could not connect to server. Username already taken, and it's taken by me.
Alright, I have an IP, or a port here. Try this.
Can you enter a port? Probably just with a
Yeah,
colon,
colon.
right?
This is what we get for using beta software. Alpha? I don't even
So,
know.
We
for
need a
some
technical.
reason,
Version 5.5. Thanks.
this is difficult. Because now I do have to change my keyboard layout. There we go, I see it now.
Yay! Putting in a port works. Alright, now we know for the future. That only took 3.5 minutes.
We need a technical difficulty song. Just saying.
I completely agree. We'll just put the Fallout logo across the screen.
So the biggest issue with this drawing is that the eyes aren't looking in the same direction.
No.
Bahaha.
There, now we have a layer 2. Enjoy.
Yay.
God damn, it's adorable, Chrispy. Question about your head shapes, though, Chrispy, while we actually have you in the chat. Do you do like a flat oval?
I agree with Strangersaurus. Could be a bit more. Could take a bit of like Luna's muzzle and add it on to this one.
That's what I'm seeing from the side view, basically, as far as the head shape. Is that your goal, Chrispy? Someone ping him in the IRC. Be like, punk, answer us.
I think he's paying attention. Just the like. Yeah, typing time.
Want to go into a little more details on that? So the way he does his is he uses the standard layout with the line that defines the circle. What?
So what I'm hearing from him is that he does the standard circle. If I can swoosh a circle right the first time, that's good enough. With the lines that define the circumference in the middle. So
The reason I think it looks flat is the way it has something to do with the eyes, because the eyes build this plane, slightly bent plane. How do I remove this? Why is my... There we go. Just focus on the plane of the eyes. It's very slightly bent. And naturally continue this curvature, and either it's a giant circle, which we see that it isn't, or it's an oval, which is pretty flat. So I guess one thing you could do is just make this eye a little bit smaller. I'm gonna use a black brush for this, so it's better to see what I mean, and hopefully I'm right. I might actually be completely wrong about this. This is the eye, and this is the head. It doesn't even need to be... You could make this a bit more narrow if you want the eye to end with the head, but you don't have to. The head could also just end there, and then already look more a lot more round, just because the foreshortening of this eye, to me at least.
see, now I see something that I often run into myself when doing faces. For the eyes in particular, whenever I do the method of mapping it out, sometimes my eyes start to slant because I'm drawing on a flat plane when I should be drawing on a circle. Especially with ponies with their big eyes. It's sometimes hard to lose track of that. So where the eyes are slanting forward here, that they could actually be slightly straighter, and that would help the feel of the head not feel like it's oval. Cause yeah, cause I definitely fall into that myself, where the eyes start to slant, where they should be standing more towards the curvature of the circle, then causes it to be more oval. That's just my tip, because I know I make that mistake all the time.
Yeah, I think it's a combination of those two. Because from this perspective, her right eye, from our view, the left eye, should definitely be more narrow than the right one, and they are very close. It's hard to see now that we've drawn all over it, but they weren't that different. I mean, I guess you have to figure out for yourself by probably drawing something like this, where do you want your eyes to go in the first place? Because if you don't know, you can't really do it right. So you should. What you could do if you want to go really in depth about this is find some kind of ball to draw on with like a Sharpie, and just draw some eyes on it and turn it around and see what happens, and figure out where you want your eyes to go and how they behave when they are there.
What do you do with the muzzle over there, Living Dead?
If you just take the front of the muzzle, and I'm just going to circle that in purple, or not the front, the top of it, and make it overlap the eye, it really helps make the head more 3D. It stops the it stops that weird eye part that was forming because of the really small, adorable friggin' muzzle. I don't know.
With all the things we've drawn over it, she looks pretty evil now.
She's a murderous clown. What can you do? Yeah, it makes sense. Maybe not.
I agree. Oh no, definitely I agree.
I
Overlapping of the eye.
I also have a few things to say about the anatomy, if that's alright. The first thing I actually noticed when I looked at this picture is the hoofs. And this might be intentional, but I'm still going to point it out just in case it isn't. Because the way you drew these hoofs, it kind of looks like, you know these plushies that are filled with sand? Kind of like this, because they are round here and here. I really don't know how to explain this right, but they have this quality of a sand-filled bag.
I think what you're trying to get at is if you're to sharpen up the edge of it, it's going to make it look less like a wet sack and more like an actual hoof.
You don't even have to sharpen the edge, but this curvature here, the way it goes out really sharply here, and then goes in again. And if you make this less, but keep this kind of like this, yeah, like kind of like this, and maybe have it a bit more straight here than in the front, it would look a bit more, I don't know, realistic isn't the word, but a bit less like a sandbag. And in the same vein, there is this curvature towards the inside on the back of the leg, where it's usually curving out and the whole leg is building this arc, kind of like this. This is a thing I actually see a lot. There are a lot of curves in a pony, and sometimes it's a bit difficult to figure out where which curve goes. And for example, usually the belly of a pony curves out or is straight, and it rarely curves in. And to me, it kind of looks a bit strange in this area. And especially with the way everything is very round in this drawing, it probably would look better with a belly like this. Also, I'm not quite sure about where the tail is coming out. If it's not a bit too far to the left. Because if you imagine the spine being here, it kind of goes like this. Would come out here.
I think your spine should be slightly more to the right. Just if you look at the back side of the hip. Assuming it's not a perfectly flat back, you're looking at the peak of the back. It'd be slightly more to the right, which would make the tail make sense for the most part. Pony right, that is, not drawing right.
I guess the reason why the tail is bothering me is because it goes up like... Oh, I have an eraser. How do I get my brush back? There we are. At least if I'm seeing this alright, it's a bit blurry in this area, but I think it just goes out like this. And I'm trying to imagine how that would happen. Have the spine going kind of like this. And it takes this 90-degree turn. I don't know. Maybe I'm seeing things.
I think that's pretty accurate. I've just smoothed it out a bit as I drew with these two red lines. If you're to give it a slight smooth, a curve into the spine, or make it look like it's actually popping out of the spine, it helps remove some of that
I'm gonna
wonky
try.
sharp
Oh,
edge.
dang it!
You've
I'm
been
gonna
drawing on
try
layer
to...
1 the entire time.
Yeah, I didn't. I guess I can't remove that. Just with these two lines, it looks a lot more convincing. It's really this line that makes it look weird because it goes in 90 degrees from the top. I guess the last nitpicky thing, and I've been pretty nitpicky about this drawing, but the last nitpicky thing is the wing should probably be a tad higher up. Not a lot. Just seems to be a bit low. But yeah, I like how the curves of the drawing really create this coherent style. And once you get the curves all to go in the right direction, it could actually be really great.
By the way, nice lead work. Nice graphite, I should say. I love the way
Good.
you're starting to shade things.
It's a shame that it's such a low resolution because I would love to look at that from up close.
Well, you're
Those
welcome,
are some
Chrispy.
nice gradients. Gern geschehen.
Alright, I think we can move on to our third drawing now. So everyone bail out of this.
Okay, how do I do that?
You just exit it.
Fail.
There we go. I'll just restart draw pile to be safe. Oh, I still have the other draw pile open for some reason.
Because it likes to open a new canvas every time you do something.
Oh yeah, I had 4 canvases open. Right.
I got to... stupid protection. 1 second. Sorry, I have to open your image in paint.net and then resave it as a different file type, only because DeviantArt doesn't seem to like you to copy images. just happens on some programs.
Only
I
some.
mean, I could have uploaded it to Imager.
That's fine. We'll work around it.
I can also export it in any format imaginable.
Bammo, we have a pony.
Actually, no. But it's debatable.
Alright, and this time it has no port.
I'm in. I've seen this before, I wonder where.
I don't know where.
So I'm just gonna lean back because it's not like I can say a lot about this. I can say a lot about it, but
Oh, you get to answer our questions.
yeah, that's
Wahaha.
true. That's why I like voice critiques, because there's so much more communication.
So first question I have, where's the other wing?
That's something I thought about. That's the reason I mentioned that I suffer from this as well, because I was lazy. I didn't want to draw a second wing, so I thought, well, it just kind of goes there, you know.
That's not
which
following
is-
the other direction at all.
True. Yeah, well, I should probably draw a second wing. Probably just copy paste the other one. It's not like anyone's gonna notice.
That's about accurate.
LD, can you make it?
Done.
You did. Yay.
I'm magic like that.
Read my mind.
So, second question. There's a line across the chest right here. What's that?
Yes. Look at the changeling, and you know they all have that.
Do they really?
Yeah. I mean, I've discussed with a friend who's making a changing plushie for me if this is just a line or if this is actually a section of their body, so if there should be a strong or just a slight like gap or something. The new episode kind of implies that it's just a line and that it's pretty strongly attached, but there is this line and they all have this.
What do you know? There is. Shows what I know.
It's a lot more emphasized on the regular changelings than it is on Chrysalis, where it's really just this little line, but Chrysalis has it too.
I'm just comparing it to a reference right now.
I do make my changelings a lot more pony-like than they are in the show.
The only slight suggestion I would give is maybe give a little heft to the neck. It seems slightly skinny for the size of the head.
Yeah, I've been thinking about what's wrong with that because the head is too the head is big, bigger than I originally than like if it was easy to change, I'd probably change it now. I guess the neck is a nice way.
I mean, you can have there's ways to exaggerate. You just need to compensate. So if you keep the head this size, you just need to beef up the neck a tad to not make it seem so small compared to the head. It's all about compensating.
I want to try something.
Anyway, I just quickly threw on some red lines there. The reasoning behind that is I was following the light that you have on the horn here, that it's casting as your light direction you've chosen. And just because it's on an angle from the head, it's not going directly back. I would just try and add more emphasis across the side that the light is falling off in that direction. If you compare the darkness levels that you have dropping off the horn and the darkness you have towards the side where I drew all that red stuff on, it's just not quite as dark as under the horn. Now, the stuff across the side of the carapace here is actually darker than what's under the horn. That might not be suggested just because you should have one, if the sun is totally being blocked on this area, it's going to be as dark as totally blocked on this area, on another area, say this side here, because there is no more reflected light up here than you'd find down here.
You do know that I only see your mouse move on the stream with a large delay because I'm in Mumble and I'll obviously have the stream muted or I hit you twice, so I'm not sure about which areas you're talking when you say this and that.
Sorry about that. One sec. So
while you're thinking about that, one thing, the light source is actually really relatively obvious in this picture and relatively consistent, I think, except for that shadow of the horn. It's from the left and more from behind than from the front, which is why that cast shadow is just completely wrong. Thing is, I don't know, just kind of threw that in there and forgot about it. Guess I need to fix that.
Well, the shading you have on the legs here, like the highlighting more so than the shading, it helps say that horn direction's fine because the light's falling off the sides of it, falling off towards the back. Here, let me change color for that. Falling off towards the back here. It does mirror what you have up on the horn here. The side of the head that's done up in the red lines, that doesn't mirror what I'm seeing.
The problem with that then would be that the background isn't consistent with the foreground, because the background clearly indicates that the light comes from more from the back than it comes from the front.
I should really not have
secondary
that.
light source.
I'll be honest, I didn't actually notice the shadow under it because I had the picture zoomed in too much. Whoops.
I mean, the thing is, the light source isn't completely logical, and I knew that as I was making it, because I always knew that or at least when I was making the background, I knew that the light source wouldn't exactly match up with what I've drawn. But my compromise was that the light is basically coming from the left, and not as much from behind as I was, as the background is implying, which is possible, I guess. Like if the sun was off to the left and there would be some cracks in the cloud, I guess you would still get some lines there. Not really, but but even with that decision, the cast shadow of the horn would need to be somewhere like, where's my? I have a cursor. Oh, I do have one. It's just like something like here, or maybe even here. Because the specs would do it then wrong too. It's kind of a mess. Sure, if I can fix that without completely redoing it, which is not what I'm gonna do.
So easy fix here then. You can just slightly move the angle on the horn shadow, and I'd move it slightly more towards the left side of your pony. And I would just correct the shadow that you've dropped under the pony, under the changeling. And what I mean by correcting the shadow under the changeling, one sec.
Yeah, I have no idea what you mean by that.
Alright, almost there. Alright, so this back left leg is going to actually have a shadow cast on it from the front legs and the front body, based on your shadow that's existing on the rest of the body. Now, the shadow under the pony, or under the changeling, sorry, won't be that complete blob. If you remove a chunk of the shadow between the right leg and the left leg and actually let some light through there, you'll give the impression that the pony is, or the changeling isn't this massive blob sitting there. In fact, it's got legs that just block out a chunk of light.
So now I'm trying to figure out what kind of shadow that leg would cast. I mean, you've indicated something there. I could just go blindly off of that, but I don't like that, so I'm trying to figure out. I mean, just so we're clear on that, what kind of, like, drawing this, where do you think the light is coming from?
Alright, I'm gonna drop some purple on here with arrows to show you what I mean as the light.
Is this really clever way to draw a light source by cone? I think that's what you're doing.
There, that's about what I see as your light source. Maybe slightly sharper angle. Does that make more sense?
Yeah, I'm trying to think about this. Because, I mean, I guess for now I'll just have to accept that that the background is not going to agree with the light source. I have no explanation for this, but I guess I don't really need one because the background is not so. How should I say? I mean, I could just remove this like this crack in the clouds with the light beams. This is on a separate layer. I could just remove it. But I've tried that before actually, and it just looks so much more interesting with it.
Which program are you using to do this?
Clip Studio Paint.
Alright, use the color dropper. Grab the color that's directly in front of the pony, towards this area I'm circling in teal. Or not, it won't circle, whatever. There it is. That area I circled in teal. Grab that and just do a quick brush under the pony. You can quickly, or the changeling, not pony, dang it. Quick brush under the changeling, and that will be the easiest method of changing that background really quickly.
That's actually the foreground. I'm talking about the background. But like what I'm talking about right now, which probably is really irrelevant because it's so subtle. This thing casting light beams like this, which totally disagrees with my light source because my sun would have to be somewhere here, which means the light source would be something like this, so it would come from behind. Actually, that's still not right, whatever. So it would have to come from behind, which would just be I would just have to redo my entire shading to fix that. So what I'm wondering is if it's worth it to remove this and sacrifice this nice effect that this creates for
Leave
the background.
leave that there. I'll be honest, it's not that noticeable of what you're trying to display. You're trying to say it's this big cloud shape and it's got this directional light source split in it. I honestly don't see what you're trying to draw even when you redline it over. I see the light beam. I see the god rays as I think they're usually called. That's fine. But that circle you put up there, honestly, I don't see that cloud shape that you're trying to say it's split. And the reason is because there is no dark back there to show the massive difference between the split cloud and the unsplit cloud.
This is more about when are these beams created? When there is a cloud and there's a crack in this cloud and light is shining directly through it. And it can't go directly through it if the sun isn't there, but it's somewhere in the foreground. Like before, in front of our changeling. I just don't think it's worth bothering because no one's gonna notice anyway.
Well, I think the thing is, usually those beams, the reason why they're so noticeable is because there's a very bright streak to them, and for your work on the background, you kind of have the same textures going on, so it's hard to tell the difference between the light beam and the brushes in the background.
So does that make sense?
I guess.
More contrast would be the answer here. If you're really trying to make those clouds a big part of this image, the problem is your image doesn't seem set up to have that as a big part of the image, because there's so much focus on the changeling.
Yeah, I don't want it to be a big part of the image because that would expose the fact that this is impossible with the light source I have, unless we have like a second sun or a huge something. I mean, it actually wouldn't be hard to make the light source an explosion, but why would there be an explosion?
Because Twilight got angry again.
Maybe that's the purple arrows she's attacking the changeling. But yeah, Ali, I don't think you said something about this yet. Do you have something to add?
About what? The clouds?
Picture.
Sorry, you cut off there?
The picture in general.
Oh, I mean, Living Dead did a really great thing with the lights, so I was just letting him do his thing. Otherwise, my thing was the neck. Make it a little bigger.
Right, I remember now.
And the only other thing, I do have one question for you. Hold on, let me circle it. This part right here, is that another hole? Or is that the leg bend?
Where do you see a hole?
I wasn't sure if this was supposed to be another little hole from the changing leg, or if it's supposed.
That's the angle thing.
The haunch.
The haunch. Yeah, like
words.
So if this is the back of the leg, the only thing I would say, it'd be up much higher, because at this point they're more slanted like this than the body is like this.
True.
That would be my only other thing.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out if I can still easily fix this, but I think this is more one of those next time kind of things. Especially since the entire line work is on one layer, as I tend to do. Maybe I can fix it.
I think the change to the light on the horn and its slight alteration of the background, that should only take you 10 minutes unless if you've blended your color layer in with your shading layer. Then it's going to take you about 25.
I really need to save this, so I can do this first thing tomorrow. And save this as a, yeah. Because it wants to save it as an .aura, whatever that is.
I think that's their draw pile image type.
Fancy.
I don't think they could call it a .dp because draw ponies claimed everything DP.
Open raster. Probably just a open source kinda, probably even raw image type.
Alright, shall we go on to the next image then?
Bring
Give me
it
1
on.
second to save this. Oh wait, even if you DC, I keep this right. Alright. I'm gonna go to bed now.
Alright.
Well,
Thanks
thanks
for
for
the crits.
no, thanks for coming out.
My pleasure.
Now it's
See
just
you
you
around.
and me, Allie.
Oh God.
Bye. Bye.
Shikogo disconnected.
Shiko is outside of Anyway,
Mark Light
next.
connected.
Oh no.
Enter
Alright.
channel.
We got a Luna.
Invasion.
Luna.
Oh no, wait, this isn't right.
Arc light disconnected.
Holy cow, this is a big image. I give up on putting a password in. Nah, no password.
Lunarix connected. Lunarix
Feel free to
entered
hop
channel.
in, Allie.
Starting it up now.
Woo! So we have a picture here from Megamatic. You can find this picture over on the subreddit, the MLP Drawing School, which I'm pretty sure all of you are from.
At least we hope.
I don't know who Stranger Source is, I'll be honest. Never seen that name. I hope we see them more.
Yeah, that'd be great. Join the IRC.
You know, come for the hugs, stay for the art.
Or is it the opposite?
I think the hugs stick you there. They just sort of like pin you.
Hug disease.
It's a horrible thing. Alright, so we got a picture here.
I'm just trying to figure out how to make it smaller.
The right beside the tilt, there'll be two buttons, and it'll be at 100% with the littlest scroll bar. I suggest you just using the button.
There we go. Savior.
You're welcome. Stranger Source, you shouldn't be a lurker. You should come hang out in the IRC. You'll see the button up at the top of the subreddit. You can talk to awesome people like me, and I guess Allie and Luna.
I guess I'm cool. I don't know anymore. To art! Okay.
The muzzle is definitely a big thing on this one.
Yes, the muzzle, and I see this happen a lot with people doing this angle for like the first few times. They have no cheek on the right side.
Yeah. You want to quickly draw that in? I believe in you.
Oh, thanks.
I even put a new layer in there just for you. You might want to not use pink because there's so much pink in the image.
I know, I was just about to change that. I'll go for an orange, it'd be different.
Sweet. Scootaloo all over the place.
Alright. So like I was saying, something that I see a lot with people attempting this angle, this 3/4 face showing angle, they have the eye poking out. And it's like, oh, that's.
Gotta stop letting go of your push to talk.
I do. I'm trying to train myself.
How to Train Your Lion.
Exactly. We can make a sequel. So yeah, I think that's something very important that's overlooked is remembering the side of the face that's not dominant. And like you said, LD, the muzzle could do with some shortening. It seems like they were going for more of a princess muzzle, but it's feeling a bit squished, I think.
I'm having a hard time trying to figure out what the gender of the pony is.
You know what? It's great to be different.
There we go.
Well, I guess the other thing that kind of stands out to me, or sorry, should I not be?
No, you're in this.
In a 3/4 view, the eyes they look almost about the same size to me, and it's throwing me off.
Yeah, I can see that.
That the left eye should be kind of smaller since it's retreating to the back of the view.
Bam, one head circle.
Ta-da. Yeah, see, if we're using this as the general facing, I might even go to say that the line might be a little lower, just for this face.
No, you're probably right. Maybe. Actually, I think it's slightly pointing up, but whatever. Just roll the ball. I can't do that. I don't think there's a way to select a layer chunk. This program is very primitive at what it does.
It's alright. We're here to just do our thing. So, from what we... I need to make a thicker line. Hold on.
It's so primitive.
Cry. I miss SAI. Anyway, yeah, what Luna was saying is completely true.
Allie, you're pushed to talk. You said what Luna was saying was completely true and just stopped.
I know, because I had to readjust what I was doing. I can't control Z and push to talk at the same time.
Just become a lefty.
Oh god.
It works well for me. Just for doing this.
One purpose lefty. Alright. Definitely liking what you're doing with the muzzle.
Alright, there's a good reason why a lot of artists do a block muzzle. And the reason is because it actually makes it 3D for the rest of the face. Now you don't need to go ahead and stick in these extra lines that I'm scribbling over top here. You don't need to stick those in. It just helps, especially when it's an unshaded image. Now,
Oh, I agree. Because if I just... Hold on. I need to go on a different layer now. If I just go with your lines and we just go over the ones that are necessary, the necessary lines are the mouth lines that make it 3D, while you don't have, like, the top portion of the nose outlined like you drew the box for. Definitely, if you do think of the straight line there, and if you have an open mouth, you know, don't forget the little bump out, the teeth will bump out. But it's the two lines that'll define your face, are the mouth line and the chin line, to making it that boxy shape, because then it's implied at that point. You already have the sense of 3D ship.
wonderfully easy method of creating a 3D face. And because you have that circle, you're able to easily align the front of the muzzle by using that. I'm going to make a purple line. Why not? One sec. Purple line. This easily aligns with that green line back there. That helps keep the muzzle straight and flat against the face. Not flat, but flat with the face. What is that? Parallel? Perpendicular?
Parallel with, well, you're parallel with the green line.
There we go. Thank you.
And then, like, even just using that, you just keep bringing it down. You bring it to that layer, and then you bring it to the chin layer. And it's that line that can be used all over to build this entire face, this 3D structure. And you'd be amazed how much it makes it pop.
So yeah, honestly, few small changes. Little muzzle work. The muzzle, actually, you see what happened when we enlarged the muzzle? Look where your correction to the eye was.
Mm-hmm.
It's completely covered up that little bit, the little cheek over the side. No.
Just the slightest peak, just a little peek of it. It's all you need. You don't even need much. It's like you said about hiding the arm. You need the slightest hint that the face exists over there, because we're not doing complete side view. You'll see it.
Fair enough. There is one more thing about this picture that can have a slight improvement here, and that's the mane. The mane has just sort of fallen dead on the head. I mean, the top of it's great. I love the shape that the artist has given. Love that, but it doesn't follow down the neck even a little bit. You see how it falls dead where the ears are, and it actually, because of how thin they made the top of it, it looks like it's actually the thickest part would be right up at the center where I just circled. If they were to follow the line, just enlarge it out a bit out the back, just give it just a little hair out the side. Wonderful. It makes it more horse, more, I don't know, more like the rest of MLP, not a toupee.
Oh, completely. Like, even you don't even need to have it stick out. You could even have it flat against the head, as long as you had a little thing that indicated, like, oh hey, a horse's hair grows from its neck up to its head. You know, give that. Don't be afraid of that. It doesn't have to be toupee horse. It can be just a top hair, because you think of who's a good character?
Thunderlane.
Thunderlane, exactly. He has that mohawk, but he still has just a bit on his neck that, you know, you still see it. It still grows there.
So now we have a magical candy-colored horse, because it's just covered in colors everywhere. Are there any questions?
Are there any more arts that people want crit?
Don't all stand up at once.
Oh, so sad. I'm wondering if I have anything I could throw up for a crit if people still want to watch.
Oh, I
Crits.
found Fist Butter posted a picture 6 days ago that just got a cute. She is adorable. We should go over that one.
Bring it up. I'll log out of the thing.
You should tell Fist Butter to get into the chat.
Is he here?
I don't even know.
Yeah, he's not online.
Whatever. We'll throw it up
Sad.
anyway. Because it's cute. It's adorable. Bam. New one hosted.
Joined.
It looks like as long as everyone exits the previous ones, I don't need to tell you a port.
Yeah, I think that's what I think. Shikogo was still in the last one.
This is freaking adorable, but I do see a few things. Look at her legs.
Yeah. I'd say for me, I may be wrong to what you're thinking, but for me, there's no shoulders.
Exactly.
That's the big one for me.
And just because of the line that's formed with the egg, or the giant ice rock, it makes the arms sort of look like they're just thrown on the front there, and then they fall dead just before they curve back. I think if you were to...
Super simple fix. Just like, because if we think about it, it'll be like boop, 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 and then boop, boop, boop.
Can you quickly draw the line that you're assuming for where the egg or where the rock is blocked? Because you aren't assuming it's doing a full triple, or it's doing the bump all the way over it, right?
So we have. First, I guess you're right. I'm trying to figure out the bend because, like, I know how I would do it is I would have shoulder here, down, up, bend, down, up, bend.
And I'd agree, but the peak of the rock would be under the arm there, where I just put that weird brown streak under your arms. So I can get what Fistbutter's trying to do. Basically, he's saying I guess the second joint on the arms, just before the hoof joint, is what's towards the peak of that rock.
So if I'm just attempting something else, but this is where it's cut off
Actually,
and joins again.
sorry, can you quickly undo that? It's on layer 1, and you only got like 10 undos.
That's as far as I can go. Whoops.
It's all right. We know what you're doing here. Anywho, I think there's actually a second solution to this, which would be much easier. If you're to move pony right arm and pony left arm, separate them a bit, so the pony right arm sits towards the blocking where you'd think the shoulder should be, and move the pony left arm further away so you can show the curvature over the rock more. I think that's going to help out showing or making it look more, I don't want to say more separated, but like a wider stance for holding.
No, I agree.
Beyond that, god damn, that's an adorable little pony.
It really is. And I love the way he colored the rock. Like, that's some adventurous stuff. Because he's been trying out some new things and it really worked for him.
Unfortunately, I know the images look pretty bad on this software. You aren't getting the full idea of how smooth this actually is. They just don't alias in this program, unfortunately. Shake fist.
It's good rock, though. I promise. It's good rock.
You do see the weirdness that's caused from the lower jaw, too, right?
It's slightly forward to where it should be. I know the head's angled back, but the jaw is coming for me, the jaw is slightly too forward. Like, if we get a thing, bring it down here. Instead of leaning forward, like, instead of leaning forward.
Fistbutter could also correct this if you was to take the jaw right there, keep it the same as normal, like the headline, keep that the same as normal, and just use the existing jaw to drop. Not quite as fat as I did, but you know, you get the idea.
Yeah. Oh,
Keep
no,
that-
I agree.
Keep the head circle, but use the comical style jaw.
Make it stretch.
Just two options of correcting the little weird underbite that it's caused. Or overbite. I don't know which direction. Overbite, yeah. Beyond that,
Otherwise-
yeah, I got nothing.
That's really all I had too.
It is a
I
pretty
really-
simplistic picture.
Like it.
Yeah.
Like the way it turned out. All right. Is that all we have?
Yes.